when you hit a ceiling in your career, it depends on your level of skills. If your skills level is at a certain point and you're working on it for 6 months and you've been calling people and you've been doing your minimum contact, like say 20 contacts every day, and you've been doing that, say for 6 months. Okay, 180 days, 20 contacts every day. Count how many contacts. That's a lot of contacts. So when you take all these contacts and then you look at your daily results in your daily number tracker and you analyze what's happening, you will very fast realize, okay, we have a glass ceiling. We're creating X amount of leads. These leads are, certain types of leads. Not all of them should be called leads. And then you start changing what you're calling a lead. But at a certain time, you're going to reach what I talk about called profiling. When you profile is when you understand your personality style, you understand your limitation with your personality style, and then you start learning how to make yourself flexible and versatile. Versatility is so important at a certain level. It's so important, and I'll give you the difference between being versatile and not being versatile because I went through it. So before I did NLP, I will take 2 listings at the beginning, 2 listings every month. After 6 months of NLP, a lot of practicing, a lot of uncomfortability. I didn't feel comfortable doing the exercises. I didn't feel comfortable mimicking mirror match. I didn't feel comfortable studying and go back to the books and chanting and role playing and doing all that. So I didn't feel comfortable doing that. But at the end of 6 months, I went from 2 listings every single month to 12 to 15 listings every single month. What is that in percentage? So a couple of different things happened. First of all, when I recognized that I need to start mimicking mirror match and all that stuff, versatility, different personality styles. I'm a driver, expressive, analytical. When am I analytical? When I'm under pressure. I slow down a little bit and I analyze. So I started studying myself, my own personality style. And then I recognized, okay, this is how I am. And I'm very low and amiable on the S graph on the DIS test. It's very, very low on my profile, which means I'm not really compassionate. Naturally, I'm not compassionate naturally. I'm more of a driver. So I recognize that I'm stepping on toes, and that's why I'm not getting, enough conversion on my leads. And when I started making this change, when I started paying attention to it, when I used NLP language, when I slow myself down, when I pay more attention to what's happening, when I really internalize what it is that I need to say for sale by owners. Look, you're calling 100 for sale by owners. More or less, the majority of them are going to say the same stuff. They will say this, they have the same objections and they have the same mindset and they want the same outcome. A presentation that's done the same. In other words, we use the same words for the presentation. And then we start presenting it in a different way. If I present to a driver, I'm going to have a very fast presentation, bottom line. I'm not going to focus on details too much. It's all going to be bottom line, directed to bottom line kind of decision making. If I'm presenting to an amiable, it's going to be more emotional, more about create safety, stability, steadiness. Let them understand the process A to Z. Slow down on your, on how you're presenting yourself. So there was so much stuff in there that once I started doing it, I went from 2 listings a month and I started getting between 12 and 15 listings every single month. And the reason is 2 reasons. Number 1, I doubled my contacts. So I went from 25 contacts a day to 50 contacts a day. That made a huge difference. But I didn't double my listings. I didn't go from 2 to 4 listings a month because I doubled my contacts. I quadrupled my outcome because I doubled on the amount of contacts and I added versatility. And I started paying attention to what's going on. And I started recognizing patterns and started recognizing that, yes, most for sale by owners act the same. They will tell you certain things in a different way. A driver will tell you it's none of your business and stuff like that. And amiable will never say it's none of your business because they don't use this kind of language. They're more amiable, more sensitive. So therefore, they're more compassionate. So they will say it's none of your business in a different way. Look, if you know ahead of time what the person is going to say, can you then prepare yourself to be ready for the conversation? If you knew exactly what for sale by owners are going to tell you, if you knew exactly what expired listings, the owners of expired homes are going to say, if you knew exactly what they're going to say, and 99% of them are going to use exactly the same stuff. So if you can prepare yourself for all of that stuff ahead of time, and then recognize patterns of amiable, recognize patterns of expressive personality, recognize the patterns of a driver, recognize the patterns of an analytical, understand how they think, understand what they need in order to get motivated. If you know these things, you're going to quadruple your results. It's not going to be times 2, it will be times 10. And that's what 10x is about. But when you start using personality style and profiling, and when you speak with the person, you like after the first 2-3 questions, you already know, okay, I'm talking to a driver, probably expressive. I'm talking to an expressive driver. I'm talking to an analytical person. I'm talking to an amiable. When you can start recognizing and shift your energy accordingly, start mimicking their rate of speech. Do they speak fast, slow? Is the volume up, down? Where am I in correlation to where they are? If you have a deep voice like me and someone is answering the phone, hello, you can't go, hello, because that's like, she's going to get scared. So you have to kind of change your voice accordingly. I'm not going to change my voice completely, but I will not be like, I have to change that. But I need to recognize from this first moment she picks up the phone, how she answers the phone. Hello? Or hello? 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 If she picks up the phone, hello, and I go like, hey, what's up? Not gonna fly. You need to slow down, stretch your words. Hello? Hello? Yes, who is this? This is me. How you doing? It's like music. Pay attention and start mimicking and see how you're getting better results. It's not going to be like dramatically better results at the beginning. Slight differences in the long run turn into big numbers. So you need consistency. You need to memorize, internalize what you're saying, so you don't need to think about what do you say. If I'm thinking about what to say next, I'm not paying attention to the energy, to the tonality, to pronunciation, to all these different things. So you don't just need to know the disc profiles. And there's really 4 styles, but 16 combinations. Look how much stuff. 4 personality styles. Each one of them can have an additional style, like for example, a driver expressive, or a driver analytical, or a driver amiable, and then or just a driver. So you got to figure that one out as quickly as possible. And then you need to also present to people a different, maybe she's angry, maybe she's relaxed, maybe she speaks very fast, tonality, pronunciation, rate of speech. So all these different things that you need to pay attention to are very, very important to the results you're getting. And when you hit a glass ceiling and you want to break it, if you're making 10 contacts per hour and you're prospecting for 2 hours and you did 20 contacts and let's say you got 2 leads out of that, how can you get 4 leads out of that? Is that possible? Depending. How many people you're going to call, who are you calling? For example, if you're calling hot leads, for example, a FISBO is a hot lead, an expired listing is a hot lead. But if you're calling someone like just listed and they bought the house 8 months ago, they're not going to sell their home, right? So if you want to up your chances, you want to call people that are more motivated, like for sale by owners, for rent by owners, expired listings. Anyways, so it's not just about the 20 contacts. It's about how you make the contacts, how good you are on versatility, how good you are on figuring out their rate of speech, tonality, pronunciation of words. They have an accent, they don't have an accent. Maybe you speak super fast and they're like, not that fast. Like, for example, when someone is running super fast with me, I'm losing them after like 1 minute. And if they lose you, they start thinking about all the stuff they don't want. And therefore, you're out of the picture. Listen, I'm very busy. Can you call me later? Listen, I'm not interested. Yeah, I hear you, but I'm not interested. I'm not looking. Thanks, I'm not looking. That stuff. If you talk to an amiable, they will never tell you that in that tonality and in that way. They will probably make you feel that, not right now, I'm not ready, maybe later, you call me later, blah, blah, blah. You need to start picking up these things. Now, if an agent is making 2 contacts every day on average, again, on average, how many contacts you do every day on average? So if you're doing 2 on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, you didn't do any, and then on Thursday, you had some time, so you did 13 contacts. And then on Friday, you did 3. If you count all of that divided by 5, you're probably doing about 3-4 contacts a day, which is not enough to start building, what I'm talking about. Going from 2 listings a month to 12 to 15 listings a month, number 1, you need more contacts. Number 2, you need to start paying attention, mirror match, doing all that stuff over the phone. You also need to be versatile and understand personality styles. The level of which you want to go to, if you want to really become like a multi-millionaire by being a real estate agent, it's not just about working in multi-million-dollar homes. You can actually sell homes for $150,000 a year and make $1.5 million, $2 million, $3 million a year by doing a lot of transactions. So it's not just about that. It comes down to where do you feel comfortable, and then snap out of that comfort zone. You got to recognize, where do I feel comfortable? I feel more comfortable in a 200,000 price range because that's 90% of the buyers right now. That's where I feel more comfortable. I don't feel comfortable going to a seller that just expired at 3.7 million because I don't feel comfortable. Maybe you don't have the tools to sell their homes. Right? So when you don't feel comfortable, how do you behave? Are you at your best when you don't feel comfortable? Or no. If I told you, here's a buyer, they're looking to buy a house between 3 and 3.5 million. Or I tell you, here's a buyer looking to buy a house between $150,000 and $250,000. Where do you feel more comfortable working with a buyer? What about a seller? Here's a seller who wants to sell his house, $250,000. Here's a seller who wants to sell his house, $2.5 million. Where do you feel more nervous? If you list a house for 2.5 and list a house for 250,000, other than some marketing and branding, someone who can afford 2.5 is not someone who can afford 250, right? Can you afford $2.5 million home? And if the answer is no, I can't, therefore you're not comfortable at that level, therefore you're more comfortable with people who are like you. We feel more comfortable with people that are like us, naturally. That's why mimicking mirror match works, because then I can make you feel that we are the same. And if me and you are the same, you feel more comfortable naturally. So if you're working with someone who is outside of your comfort zone, and you have no skills and you have no talent, natural talent for that, then you are in trouble. But if you don't have the talent, but you have the skill, no problems. You can actually go out and list homes at 2.5 million. You have no problem because you have the skill. So what I'm talking about here is building skill, building a skill that can help you in any market, in any price range, in a buyer's market, in a seller's market, doesn't matter. You're going after, you need to build skills of a listing agent. I'm not teaching you to work with buyers because you don't really need to learn anything about working with buyers, in my opinion. Yes, you can go certified, become a buyer specialist, and yes, you can do all that stuff. But I can grab someone off the street who just got their license and give them a buyer lead and they can close the deal by the end of the week, because it doesn't take much to show homes. But to actually get listings, you need to really build some skills. You have a lot of competition out there. So it's not going to be as easy and as quick as, turning buyers leads. And remember, most people are seeking instant gratification. Therefore, there's a lot more buyers agents. You don't really need to be versatile when you're a buyer agent. When you work with sellers, it's a little bit different. Okay, and I need you guys to understand that and understand what it takes to become a superstar listing machine. You want to list 10, 15, 20 listings a month if you want to make $1 million a year. If you want to make $500,000, you need to list between 5 and 8 homes every single month. Like 5 homes, you're already like, you're not really doing it, because at 7,000 commission, 5 homes, you're talking about 35 grand. You're making about 400. You're falling below your goal. So if you want to make $500,000 a year, calculate that. You really need to get like 7, 8, 9, 10 listings every month.
Wow.
And if you want to get that much listings, then you need to become a listing machine. How do you become a listing machine? You become a listing machine by doing the stuff I just told you. You need to be versatile. You need to understand personality styles. You need to understand the combos of personality style. How is an amiable, expressive behaves? What is motivating them to make a decision? And then you need to learn how to mimic, mirror, match everybody you come in contact with. So there's a lot of stuff. And then you need to do it many times in order to really get good results, and improve and keep improving and keep improving. You will do that when you're paying attention. Now, if you are doing transaction coordination instead of giving it to a TC, if you do all the marketing on your listings and all that stuff, if you do your social media, your marketing, if you do your TC, if you do the paperwork, if you do A to Z in your business, you will never have the time to become an expert as a listing agent and become a listing machine. So you're stuck. It's a catch-22. That's why I'm explaining, guys and girls, you have to move to the next level. The only way to move to the next level is by hiring a TC. Get this thing off your table. You cannot do that stuff. That has to be done by someone else. And it doesn't cost much. You guys are paying $250 per closing. That's like free. On a $7,000 commission average, which is on the low end of it, what is $250? It represents 3-4% of your GCI. Is nothing. But if you get it off the table, you have enough time now to really focus on what we're working on. If you give the listing management portion of the job to a listing manager, to do, to post your listings on MLS, to, put all those pictures out there, the description, create a flyer to put on your social media, order the signs for you, do all that stuff. If you get someone to do those things for you, you can become very successful because you will have the time to invest in what you need to invest, which is the important stuff. So, this is just the broad spectrum. Last Sunday, not this Sunday, this week, last week on Sunday, I covered farming, and we also covered like the entire system. Farming includes inside the following: prospecting, lead follow-up, door knocking, sending out postcards regularly within a farm, growing the number of postcards you're sending and sending them more often as you're prospecting, as you're door knocking, as you're doing everything else. When you do all that stuff, without a TC, without a listing manager, you're already working 7 days a week, you're already overwhelmed, you're already getting tired, you're already burning out. And that's what happens to the majority of people because they're not following the system. So the system says, listing management should not be done by you. Transaction coordination should not be done by you. This should be done by other people so that you can really focus on developing your skills and go to the next level. How do you develop your skills and go to the next level? You do that by practicing role-playing, chanting out loud, memorizing, internalizing scripts and dialogues. Get that off the table. Start recognizing patterns of FISBOs, what they say. What is the patterns of expired listings? What is the pattern of making just listed, just sold phone calls or door knocking? And when you recognize all that stuff and you start behaving accordingly, prepare yourself to what's going to happen next. You already know what they're going to say. Therefore, prepare your language. Know what it is that you're saying when they say, I'm not interested. Jumping right off the bat, I'm not interested. How do you handle that? What should you say next? How do you do your follow-up? How do you do your follow-up calls? What do you send your pre-listing presentation? What do you send in your pre-listing presentation? It's a package of stuff that needs to happen the same way in a different, the same stuff, in a different way depending on their personality style. So when you get to that level, the level I'm talking about right now, when you work from this level, you're getting way better results than someone who's not. The old version of myself used to get 2 listings a month. When I took all that stuff into, I'm talking guys, 2-3 years to perfect the system. After 2-3 years of working on myself, improving my skills and doing everything else needs to be done and delegating the stuff, I had the time to do all that. If I didn't delegate TC and listing management, I would never be able to practice and do the work, the real work. And by the way, it's going to help you in your personal life as well. Knowing personality styles and how to be versatile to get the results you're looking for. Trust me, that helps you with your relationships, with your family, with your friends, with everybody. You will improve your relationships as you go through this thing. And you will improve your business, and you will improve dramatically the results you're getting out of your life and out of your business. And that's what it's all about. But it takes commitment. It takes hard work. It takes stepping outside of your comfort zone. It takes stopping what it is that you're doing. And if everybody is scared to stop what they're doing because they don't want to slow down on production, they will never be able to go to that level. So sometimes you need a breakdown to create a breakthrough. You want to break through, you have to have a breakdown because it's not going to be comfortable. It's going to cause you some pain. You're going to be, dragging your feet. It's going to be hard at the beginning. You're not going to get, such good results. An agent comes to me stuck at a production of doing 20, 25 deals a year. They've been doing that for 10 years. They want to go to 50 plus deals a year. What's the first thing they should do? Well, the definition of insanity says that you're insane if you think you're going to do the same stuff and get different results. That's the definition of insanity. So if you really want to go to the next level, you have to stop and you got to make a change. Change what you're doing so that you can grow. If you're not going to change how you're behaving, you're not going to change the stuff you're doing, you're not going to go to the next level. I wanna. I understand you wanna, but are you willing to do what it takes? It's not about wanting. It's about actually taking action. If I want to buy a Ferrari, but I'm driving an old Chevy. What's the difference between the Chevy and the Ferrari? Well, the Ferrari is going to cost me about $400,000 and my car costs $7,000 as an example. I want to go from this car to that car. Can you go snap your finger and get the Ferrari? No, got to go to work. So it's not the Ferrari. It's it's what happens to you on the way and how much you're changing yourself, your behavior, your sets of beliefs. Okay, you need to make bunch of different small changes and big changes. And then when you take on all that stuff and you're going through this path, which is not going to take you less than 3 years, at the end of this path, a whole new life is waiting for you. But you got to be a brand new person to gain the stuff that's waiting for you at the end of the line. It's not going to happen with you in a comfort zone. Every person I talk to, first question that I'm trying to figure out is this person coachable? Number one. Number two, is this person hungry enough or in pain enough to make a change? And if the answer to one of those two questions is no, then I'm not ready to coach because they're not going to do what I'm trying to, they're not going to do the stuff that's going to take them to the next level. So when we finish up, like this week was, step 24. Next week is step 20. This coming Sunday is step 25. We're finishing up the entire, like we draw a circle on a page. We completed the 25 weeks and 25 steps of the system. You got to go back to step 1 and start recognizing at each step, did I complete this? Did I do this step number 1? Am I done with it? Like really done? I understand it. I implemented it. I really like A to Z. Okay, great. Let me go to the next step. And then you complete all those different pieces in the puzzle. And at the end, we can start talking about profiling. Next week, we're going to talk about self-development, which is really what it's all about. If you want to make more money, you got to become more to gain more. You're not just gaining more because you want it. So how do someone go from 10 deals a year to 100 deals a year? Do you think, look, this is something in the mindset of a lot of people, and we'll end up with that. A lot of agents have a problem in their mindset in regards to money, prosperity and money. They don't have a very positive mindset about it. And as long as that's in place, as long as the subconscious, as long as they have sets of beliefs that are negative, or they have negative connotation regarding money and prosperity, then they cannot go there, because it's like they hate money in a way. Then money is not going to come to them. It's energy. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. The first work, look, the last step of the entire system, which is step 25, self-development, should be the first step before you can make any change. So I was teaching you guys the entire system that I preach, I work, and I see all successful people follow, if not to the T, 90%. It's the same. Success is achieved in our industry. There is what? 2, 3, 4, 5 ways to achieve success. Some people like to do social media. Other people like to work with friends and family. Other people like to do cold business. Other people like to do prospecting. But if you're going to combine all that stuff and invite each piece into your business and delegate and allow other people who can do stuff better than you to actually help you, like a coach, like a transaction coordinator, like a listing management, like a personal assistant, if you're going to open up your minds to the fact that it's not a job, it's not a career, it's a business. If you think about it like that, that's the first step for me. When I work with you guys, the first step is to teach you that this is not a job. It's not a career. It's a business. And if you build it like a business, and you are an important component of this business, you are the core, the heart of the business. But it is a business. Because when people go into it like it's a career, then they don't want to delegate. They're scared to delegate. They think everything is about them, and they have to be in full control of every little piece in the business. And if you are in full control of every little piece in your business, then your business is not going to go too far. You can only do X amount of deals, 20, 30, 40 deals a year by yourself doing everything. And by the way, if you're doing 30, 40 deals a year by yourself, without any help, without a TC, without a listing management, without an assistant, dude, I don't want to have your life, because you're going to have zero life. You will work 24/7. So yeah, you're making money, but you have a shitty lifestyle. So what's the point? So for me, it's about building a business, understanding that. So remember, the first piece of the puzzle is understanding that it's a business. The last piece is understanding that it's all about self-development. You are the heart of if your results equal 10 deals a year, that's what you're worth. You're getting out of the business what you're worth. If you're making 10 deals a year and you made, I don't know, $50,000 this year, that's what you're worth right now. Your level, your skill, your commitment. The fact that you're not willing to delegate and give someone else and start developing other people around you that can actually help you in your business. All those puzzles, each piece in the puzzle, you're not doing follow-up enough. You're not sending the right listing presentation. You're not doing the presentation the right way. You don't know how to handle objections. The fact that you hate prospecting is because you don't know what the hell you're doing. Like all those different puzzles, if you're not perfecting them, then you're not going to get to the highest level. Each and every person that I meet has the potential to become a 7-figure earner in our industry, because it's doable. But 95+% of all people are not willing to make so many sacrifices to change themselves, which is the last portion, which we're going to talk about next week, self-development. They're not willing to do the actual work. That's the hardest work in this entire puzzle, is self-development. Like true self-development, not reading a book and meditating. That's not going to help you change. Reading a book and meditating is not going to make you change at all. It might do even something worse, which will make you feel that you're changing, but you're really not changing. Changing meaning you are diminishing the control of your ego. If you can diminish the control of your ego, you can then become more. Because your size right now, whichever size it is I'm talking size in our business, like how many deals you do, what's your lifestyle, the size that you achieved is because of who you are. And who you are is how much you're allowing your ego to take control. If you're going to start controlling your ego, you will immediately improve your production. You will immediately improve in versatility. You will immediately improve because you're delegating. You understand it's not about you. You understand that you're not perfect. You understand all that stuff. So each piece in the puzzle of the system that I teach needs to be understood and perfected in order for you guys to be at 7 figures. There is a long way between where you are right now and 7 figures income. And it's not about the money. It's about you. The long way is your path. How much time you're going to put into this thing. The easy way out is not to do any of these things in a perfect way. Just do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, choose the things you like because that's your comfort zone. Okay, great. Then that's why you're doing 10 deals a year. That's why you're doing 5 deals a year. That's why you're doing 25 deals a year and you have no life. Guys and girls, I come across agents every day and brokers, broker owners and agents every day from different states, from different cities with different problems. But each and every, I can tell you 95% of all the people out there in our industry don't have the self-discipline needed to become a 7 figures income. And that's why they're not. Most people want to stay in their comfort zone. Even this conversation will make most people uncomfortable. Therefore, they don't want coaching because God forbid they look in the mirror and they see their real self. Why people hate coaching? Because they don't want to see themselves. They prefer to see this person that they think they are instead of looking in the mirror and see really who I am. Why am I not getting enough listings? Because you're not making enough phone calls. Why am I not making enough phone calls? Because you don't feel comfortable prospecting. Why I don't feel comfortable with prospecting? Because you're not practicing. You don't know what to say. That's why you suck on the phone. That's why people hang up on you. It's very basic stuff, you know? So for me, the path is clear. I want the path to be clear for you as well. Next, on this coming Sunday, we will cover self-development, which portion of that you really focus on at that time. And then within a month, we'll take a month break. And in a month break, what it means is that there's no break. Because the month break that you have is do your homework. You know what you need to do? You got to go back to the first videos and you got to go through step 1, step 2, step 3, watch the video, make notes, like see in your vision your next level and watch all that stuff. You got 30 days to catch up on 25. So you take 1 step a day and you watch 1 video every day. And then that's your homework when we're done with this 25 step. So you're looking at all that 25 step and then you join me in the next 25 steps, which will begin sometime in September. And we're going to take another 25 weeks into the program. And some of you will be on a little bit of a higher level. Some people will come in right at the basic because they didn't do any homework, they didn't do anything, and now they want to catch up on it. So these reminders and these coaching sessions and these should close the loop for you to understand where you are right now and how to go to your next level. Like, okay, I'm doing this, but I want to be getting these results. I'm frustrated, I'm not getting these results. So what other options do I have? Let me go post something on social media. I know I need to prospect. Let me call a couple people. Calling 2-3 people, they hung up on you. Okay, you know, I'm hungry. What am I going to eat today? Let me check my email real quick. Oh, wow, okay, so I got to go. I got to do this. I got to do that. Okay, no prospecting. You're escaping who you really are. Look, you want to become a top producer, you got to go through the system and do the homework. That's how you become a top producer. You don't become a top producer because you've been in a freaking insane market that you guys are, that every buyer you pick up from the street, you can show them 5 homes and put 3 offers. That's not going to stay there forever. And you don't need to be skilled to make money in that kind of an environment. But this environment doesn't stay forever. It's a super competitive environment, but you don't need to do much to make money. Therefore, nobody works on themselves. Why should I do all the self-development? You know how hard that is? To change myself, my instincts, my habits. That's hard work. I don't want to do that. let me go post some stuff on social media. Let me do the things that don't make me feel uncomfortable. Let me do everything that makes me feel comfortable. Oh, I don't like this. I don't do that. Let me do what I like. Great. Continue to do what you like, and you continue to get the same results. You're not going to go from 5 deals a year to 50 because you keep doing the same stuff. If you keep doing the same stuff, you'll keep getting the same results. 5 deals a year. You want to do 50? Got to do the work. All right, let's open up from some questions if you have any.
You mentioned focus, like trying to make the 20 contacts and 40 contacts and 10 contacts a day, and going after the FISBOs and the expireds. Now, with the expireds, I've been trying to call expireds. Well, I've been calling expireds for the last week, and it's like this. I've gone through all of them already. I feel like what's available. So what do you? We can find more of those. You want to focus on the motivated sellers, and if there's no more expires, then what do we do from there?
You don't have any expires right now because you're in that kind of a market where you don't have too many expires, because almost every home you put on the market is somehow getting sold. So that market, we had this market back in 2007. And then in 2008, it changed. In 2009, it changed all across the board, all throughout the country. I believe it's going to change here as well. It's just a question of time. But either way, in a seller's market, which we are, or in a buyer's market, you need to know how to find your next listings.
Okay.
So if you don't have enough expireds, guess what? What do you have enough of right now?
Oh, there's a ton of geo ones. That's what I've been kind of focusing on.
Okay. What is the opportunity in this market right now? What's the opportunity? The opportunity right now for a seller that he has now and he didn't have 5 years ago. What's the opportunity that you should really? What is the message you're sending out there right now? And how much of that are you doing? So yes, there is hot leads, which is expireds, FISBOs, for rent by owner. These are people who are actually right now advertising their property on the market. Expireds are not advertising actively, but they want to sell. They just expired, so they got to have a high motivation, unless they're not motivated, and maybe that's why they expired. So you got to figure out which expired you're going after. For example, you can call me, say I put my home on the market. I try to get 500 on a house that's worth 350. I didn't get it sold. Okay, whatever. I don't need to sell the house. I just put it on the market to see if I can actually buy it at 500. You're calling me right now. You want to sell my house. You're going to tell me that my house is worth 350. I already know that. I want 500. Are you going to list my house? Yes or no? So you got to figure out, okay, I'm looking for motivated sellers, looking for people who need to sell. And I can find them in many different ways. Expireds, for sell by owners, for rent by owners, calling all my center of influence, calling all my past clients, doing farming, door knocking, cold calling, all that stuff. Plus social media, targeted ads on Facebook, targeted ads on you can do also Instagram, you can do videos on YouTube, you can create a channel, all the stuff we covered in the 25 steps. It's everything needs to be done, not just one. But you need to do certain things are more important than others. Here they are. Prospecting, which is really calling people. And if you don't have enough expires, then you got to call just listed, just sold. And if you do a good job with just listed, just sold, you should get at least 2-3 listings every month, depending where you're calling. And then you want to focus on follow-up calls. You want to focus on listing presentations and improving your skills. And then comes in social media, branding, postcards, and all the rest of the stuff, which should be automatic. Best if it's done really by someone else. They can actually use some of the things you're doing, but they will actually create. So you can record a video and then send it to someone for editing. Let them post it. Let them edit it. And you need to start thinking about the future. In 5 years from now, with technology, things are changing so fast. Everything is out there. Everything is on videos, audios. You got to start putting yourself out there and do all that stuff. But you have to do the first things we spoke about. Build your skills with role playing. Get yourself prepared for conversations so you know what to say. Understand personality style. Start mimic, mirror, match the personality style that you're with. And if you're going after expires and there's not enough of them, what you could do is open up your market. Where are you looking at expireds? Only in Rhode Island?
Yeah.
Start looking into Massachusetts.
Well, I'm still not licensed in Mass. I'm waiting for them. I actually applied 2 weeks ago, but they haven't.
Okay, get your license in Massachusetts. It's reciprocal. You can do it with just paperwork. So get that thing done, and that's your, you know, that's going to open you up to another market that is like literally next door to you. If you want to continue to do expireds, in 2 years, you will have so many expireds. You'll be like, dude, there's so much expireds, I can't even catch up, because a lot of these people are not going to sell when the market, you know, changes. So you just need to, don't close up your opportunities. If you see that you're not getting enough expireds, open the opportunities by going after other leads as well. What I don't want you guys to do is every day spend hours on looking for leads, because that should not be done by you. That's why you want to go to the RedX or LandVoice or any one of those companies out there that give you these leads, and you know, they feed them into a system with a dialer. You don't even need to dial the phone. That's where you want to be, because you're not looking for, you don't care about so much about who you're contacting. You just care to make your contacts. It's a numbers game.
I don't have a question, but I just want to mention that by listening to you, I just realized that I am not doing a good job at prospecting. I am prospecting, but I was passively prospecting. So I have to go back to my goals, which are very high. And I have one of my big why, I have it right here in front of me, and I'm realizing that I need to do it, period, which is my mother. So thank you.
You're welcome. Look, you can be motivated by pleasure or pain. Pain is a very strong motivator. So if you feel the pain and you got to go through some stuff and you're going through some hard stuff, that's a gift. It's a gift, guys. The coronavirus is a gift. If you're looking at it from that angle, you can look at it as a curse, but it can also be a gift. So you really need to, it depends on how you look at things. And I'm happy that you are getting motivated, because, you know, understanding your why, which is at the beginning of the steps. We spoke about your why, I believe, in step number 3. Knowing your why and making your why strong enough, and keep working on your why daily, because your why can change. For example, my why today can be, you know, X, and then something changed in my life and I don't have X anymore. Like, this goal is out. Now I need to work on a new one. So you constantly need to recreate your why, keep going forward with a strong why that's actually causing you to do the stuff that you need to be doing. So I'm happy that that's helped, you know, that's really what's happening to you. You should really, you know, at the end of the day, you should really see the path. And that's what I want you guys to see. See the path that I laid out for you and start taking action all across the board. And you will get results. If you take action, the results are coming.